1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Almost a weekend and you don't know what to do. Or you just need something fun to listen to.
Southside Pod!
Yes, we're on the air.
Pod.
And the gang's all here, all things on the South Side. We're listening to the Southside Pod. Looking for the best Southside breweries. Or you might just need an awesome place to eat.
Southside Pod!
Mount Greenwood, Evergreen,
Southside Pod.
Blue Island, Beverly, Payless, and Allsup too. You're tuned into the Southside Pod.
Southside Pod!
Oakland, Midlothian,
Southside Pod.
Oak Forest, Chicago Ridge, Flossmoor, and Bridgeview. You're listening to Southside Pod.
And belly on up to my 9-foot homemade oak bar right here in my basement on the south side of Chicago. My name is Chris. Bill and Mike sitting down here with me. This is Southside Pod, 30 minutes of good in a world of dumb, brought to you proudly by Tom Walsh, your Edward Jones financial advisor. Tom handles my money. He's got Bill's as well. Times aren't good, but Tom is doing a great job protecting us. Stop in and see him, 111th and Kedzie. He's right there on the corner. Or give him a call, 773-779-0023. On the show today, we're going to go to Oak Forest. Well, I'm not going to Oak Forest. Oak Forest is coming here to the bar. They have a high school soccer team that is running their program like a minor league baseball team. They have found a way to get the community to show up to soccer games, even if they don't have a kid on the team, even if they don't have a kid in the high school. It's a really interesting concept, and I bet a lot of Southside sports programs would like to know how they're doing it. We also have some events to talk about coming up all around the South Side. Even though it's very hard for me to leave my house right now because the pool is installed, I'm everybody's favorite person right now on this block because of my new pool. Everybody's trying to figure out how I got my pool in the backyard.
Did you
because
see
I
it,
guess
Bill?
for the last couple of years, if you bought a pool, you had to wait like 2 years for them to install it.
Right, because COVID's over now, though.
Right, but now I'm able to get it. Like I bought it, and 3 weeks later, they were here and they put it in the ground.
weeks,
It was
huh?
amazing. So I have this above ground pool. They put it in.
Huge. Is it Olympic size?
No, it's just a
Southside
18-foot in
size.
diameter round
big.
above ground
No, it's just
pool.
because the backyard's small.
Oh,
50. Yeah, the backyard is small, so it looks big.
By the way, I have.
That's the
I
key
have
to everything. Have other things around that make the object look bigger.
I have a concern.
Yeah,
Your youngest.
Yes.
the 7-year-old Nicholas.
Kamikaze.
Correct.
Nicky.
I walked in
Nick.
tonight, and he's like, "You want to see my pool?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Of course,
You know?
I want to see your pool.
So we
Don't
looked
kill
out
me.
the back window, and I'm like, "Wow." I'm like, "That's it's huge." He goes, "Yeah." And I go, "It's really close to the garage." He goes, "Yeah, we're gonna jump off of it."
You know,
So your 7-year-old has plans to jump off your garage roof into the pool.
Yeah, but
and
he's-
I looked at it and I'm like, "Yeah, you should." It's like made for it.
he got that idea from his teenage siblings. His 16-year-old sister was the one that asked first about it.
It's made for it. It's
And
like
then,
right
and then
there.
the 14-year-old brother was like talking about how he would get up on the roof. And I actually had to tell him, look, I understand that if you stand right there on that edge and you pull yourself up on the roof, you can get up there. And I understand that you may get the inkling to do it. You need to understand that that gap is not a guarantee.
Right.
And you
Yeah.
may not make it. And if you slip right before you jump, you are going to get
Yeah, right.
effed
It's
up.
going to hurt.
and you do it enough, you'll slip.
Right. And they were like, how do you know? And I'm like, because I jumped
Been
from
there.
the garage into a pool
Right.
before.
Right. And you hit the side and it hurts.
And
Yeah.
it's really...
And sometimes
Yeah.
you break the whole pool.
Right, the pool breaks, you break...
You flood your
like,
neighbor's yard.
Right.
Yep.
The worst thing I want to hear about is, Dad, everybody's okay, except Dominic's leg is broken, the pool collapsed,
Right.
and the neighbors are
basement
mad
is flooded.
because their brand new refinished basement is under 4 feet of water. That's what I...
We have 1.5 million hits on YouTube.
And the worst thing was when I put the pool there, I knew. But it was the only way to put it in. The way the backyard set up, there was no way to put that pool in the backyard.
You could have
where
moved
wasn't
it
gonna be
like
there.
6
You
inches
might as
the
well
other way.
put a ladder
Yeah.
in. It's basically like Seattle giving people a place to shoot
You think
up.
I should put a ladder up to the roof and
Well, you
actually
should-
make it a
you
stable
know it's
place
going
to
to
jump
happen.
off?
You should just
Right.
put a
You might as well
slide.
just
Might as
make
well-
it safe.
Might as
for
well
them.
make just a really nice like diving board off the
And a
roof.
slide.
That's
A
all.
slide.
A
A
slide.
slide
A
from the
slide
roof.
would be-
Yeah.
You know what? I might go do that.
Slide
Yeah.
off the roof.
The problem is the garage is so old The first one that goes up there is probably just falling through the roof and killing themselves.
I agree with that
That's
for
probably
sure.
what's going to end up happening. Like, watch me climb up here, Dan's not around. This is going to be awesome. Get your video
The
camera.
first time you
And
guys
they
are
fall
around,
through
they're
the
going
roof
off
and
the
go
roof.
in
You
and
know
land
that.
on a rake.
And then maybe like 10th time, it's going to
many
involve
rakes do you have in the garage?
not just their feet. They're bringing the bike or a skateboard up there.
Well, you
Or
had
a
the
scooter.
idea when you said the skateboard thing, and I have
going to
one.
happen.
I have one that has skateboards on racks attached to the wall where they're collecting them. And as soon as you said that, I was like, oh no,
Well, he's not going to use them then. If he's
that one's
collecting
going down
them,
the skateboard.
I'm Dominic Lanuti, and welcome to Jackass. And then, right, boom. And then, whoa!
All right, so the pool's coming down tomorrow. Before our guest sits down with us today, let's do your Southside Bulletin Board. It's brought to you by Cool Clouds Vapor Shop. Quitting smoking is hard. Cool Clouds wants to offer you an alternative, a full taste of bars, CBD products, friendly staff. See all they have to offer at coolcloudsvapor.com or visit them today, 3837 West 95th Street in Evergreen Park. Anybody going and seeing Kid Rock on Friday night at the Hollywood Casino Amphitheater? I feel like you could still get tickets for that. According to Facebook, only 617 people have said they're going. I mean, I kind of want to go, you know? I mean, you would still rock out the cowboy, wouldn't you? When it comes on the radio, I know you do. Marionette Park baseball fields are going to be alive on Sunday from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. for the second annual Swing for the Stars Home Run Derby. It's a wiffle ball home run competition. They have age groups that start at 8 and under all the way up to adults 21 and older. Now, you can't register for it, or otherwise I'd be out there trying to show off my wiffle ball power, but you can go and watch, and why not? Those fields come in at about 117th and Kedzie if you want to check it out. Sonic Currency is going to be playing Dark Side of the Moon at Blue Island Beer Company. $10 suggested donation. Get out to Bibco 7 p.m. show on Saturday. Remember, our good friends over at Sid Sauce are growing hot peppers in people's backyards on the South Side. It's an amazing story. They've been on the show before. Sourced right here on the South Side, made on the South Side hot sauces. You have to check this out. I get all my hot sauce from them. They have it for every type of food you might want to spice up. Visit them today, sidsauce.net. And I also want to throw out there that Southside Pod is going to be at a couple of different Oktoberfests in the next couple of months. And one of them I'm really looking forward to is the Forge Lamont Quarries Pollyanna Brewing Oktoberfest. We were there last year. This year we got a tent. We're giving away cash money. Get out there and join us. Saturday, September the 24th. Mark your calendars now. Pre-sale tickets are only $10 and you get a souvenir stein. Live music out there all day into the evening. That thing was a blast last year. I expect it to be even bigger this year. Check out eventbrite.com to get your tickets now. And that's your bulletin board right there. If you have something for the bulletin board, or you just want to talk about anything that we talk about on the show, you can send us a message. You can leave us a voicemail, all at southsidepod.com. I am amazed by how neighbors come out of the woodwork to become my best friend.
Hey, you got a pool?
Yeah.
Now that I have a pool.
Come over and you got a pool.
What's going on, Chris?
There is this-
Oh, you got a pool.
Yeah.
Whoa.
You
There
brought
is
your-
a neighbor
Bill, you brought
behind
your swimsuit, right?
There is a neighbor that's behind my house. She speaks to me once every 3 years. I've had 4 conversations with her in 5 days. She pokes her head out now every day going, how are the kids? How's the pool coming along? Like, she is coming to swim in my pool, this woman. She is not supposed... And the other
Does she
funny thing was,
listen?
if she does, who cares? She's going to put up with whatever I say. She wants to get in my pool, okay? But I had to take down the big swing set that was near her window, and she saw me up there taking it down. She walks down. She goes, "Hey, you taking down the swing set?" I go, "Yeah."
No,
She goes,
no.
She goes,
No.
She
What
got
swing
super
set?
excited.
Those your skis?
She got super excited. She's like, "Oh, that's great. It'll look great without that thing outside my window." Like, this woman has resented
Wow.
the fact that this thing's
She
been
was
next
talking
to my
about
house.
you, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. Then I have my next door neighbor. He's offering me a fire hose. He's like, "I got a friend who's a fireman. I'm going to get a
Hook it up to
hose.
the hydrant,
We're
fill
going
up
to
your
fill
pool."
this thing up at 3 in the
Right.
morning." I said, "He doesn't have a fire hose." He goes, "No, that's how he does his pool." I'm like, "He probably had to bring that back before they did inventory."
No, he's got his own.
No, he had to bring it back before him.
I mean, you guys have to bring your own hoses to work,
Sure.
right?
Oh, you and me, we're going to talk when I got to refill the pool in the spring. But I mean, everybody wants to be helpful. Everybody that comes over is
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you know what? I had somebody offer." He's like, I grew up around pools my whole life, and I work for a pool place. If you ever need somebody to come over and do all the stuff for you, I'm happy to do it. I'm like, his family, his grandmother, and his second cousin will be swimming in my pool on Saturday because
It'll be
in
clean,
exchange
though.
for that.
It'll be clean.
Right.
Right. My mother-in-law all of a sudden now wants to come and swim at the pool. Erica told her she'd come over.
She's never been in one.
I'm
so.
Chevy Chase in Christmas Vacation,
Right.
and Cousin Eddie.
You're the richest man in Evergreen Park.
Exactly. It's great. I am not. I am not the richest man. Building relationships, supporting the community, and service. These are the things that Country Financial stands for. They're neighbors who lend a helping hand and support the fabric of your community, including charitable organizations, sports, financial education, and civic organizations. And since Country is already your neighbor, they want to get together and chat. Call your local Country Financial representative, Mike Thauer, today at 708-425-1559 to talk about the things that are important to you and how he can help you protect them. Sitting down here at the 9-foot Homemade Oak Bar, Mike Stacy is a new guest to Southside Pod, and he's in charge of a sport that I coached before, Mike. I'm gonna be honest with you. I coached soccer for little kids here on the South Side when my kids were playing soccer, and I knew very little about it. My sister, she was the soccer star. I didn't get it. I basically drew up hockey plays. I was like, okay, you're going to crash the boards. You're going to sweep in here. We're going for the goal like that. I didn't know what I was doing. You, though, are a soccer aficionado.
I've played soccer once. I grew up in Oak Forest. I'm in south suburbs, and I wasn't allowed to play soccer. Right? I played football, baseball, wrestling, and during football, we were told, we were highly encouraged to run through the soccer field and kick the soccer balls onto the
Mess
street.
with the soccer
right?
kids. Right.
Because if you didn't play football, you didn't belong on the field. So grew up in Oak Forest, went to Oak Forest High School, and then worked overseas. And
it's the number one sport in every country except for the United States.
Oh, and it's crazy.
But you're never going to make it. Like, here's the thing. I think it's cool. My kids enjoyed playing it. Like I said, my sister was a huge soccer player, did very well. But it's never, in my mind, going to be bigger than baseball, football. You know, it's got a rough road against hockey in the NBA. Like, that's not happening.
I don't know.
You don't know. You believe it's getting bigger.
I'll argue with the trends. All the kids say baseball's boring, right?
Well, that's ridiculous. Baseball isn't boring, says the host of Sox in the Basement.
I
the White
baseball.
Sox podcast for fans by fans on the Broadcast Basement On Demand Radio Network. But okay, fine. You think baseball is boring?
No. I played baseball. I don't. You see the little things going on there, right? You see all those little things when, you know, the guy's leading off first. There's a bunch of things going on that don't see.
Yeah, you have to be at a game, I think, more than watch it on TV. They're trying to figure out how to make TV more interesting with that game.
But kids now, I mean, a baseball game's you're lucky if it's 3 hours. It's 3.5 hours, maybe 4 hours.
Right.
Who's got the attention span for that, right? I
Exactly.
mean, so it's losing, and you look at the statistics, it's losing the younger kids, right? And if the younger kids aren't watching it over time, it's decreasing. You can see the attendance and just knowing how kids, they watch the 6 minute or 6 second clips, and that's it.
I was at Horse Thief Hollow in Beverly this past weekend with my wife. Sox are on television, but they're on one TV behind the bar and the other TV's got a soccer game. And I actually said to the bartender, like, I know nobody's watching the soccer game. Can you flip it? He's like, no. That whole table's watching this soccer game. And I was like, what? And they weren't. I was like, what are we watching here? But I mean, like, I watched it because it was there. I'm watching the Sox on one TV. I'm watching soccer. So you're right. There is a fan base for it, and it's growing. So tell me a little bit about what Oak Forest High School is doing, because this is not your typical high school soccer program, is it?
We've got our coach. Our coach, Kieran Byrne, came over from Ireland. He's from Ireland.
Well, you got an Irish soccer coach right away. I'm with you.
And some of your listeners may know him because he's a big Irish singer.
And if he's got a brogue and he's yelling on the soccer field, they're paying attention.
So he knows the size of it outside of here. But one of the things, the idea that we have here is we're treating it like a kind of a minor league baseball or the independent league baseball, like a Windy City Thunderbolts game, right?
Okay.
Trying to encourage people to come, make it fun for the fans and the players. But number one, it's making sure that we have fans there for the players, right? And before we started here, we talked about, Friday night football games. Everybody knows them. Doesn't matter what your team's like, win or lose, you're going to fill up the stadium.
But one of the things when I came and attended the games and saw there were a handful of people there, and it's dead quiet, right? And when you're playing a sport, when you're doing anything, you want people doing the podcast. You want people to listen.
You want people there. You want to see a crowd. I find this interesting what you're saying, because what you're describing to me is a high school sports program that you're trying to run more like a minor league sports program.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, so like, look, there's not going to be a big signing because the kid goes to school there. There's going to be some roster turnover, but what you're trying to do is find a way to bring in people in your area to come and see these games, even if they don't have a kid that's on the field. So what do you do? Because this is an interesting thing. I don't think you see this very often, especially with high school sports. What do you do to attract the crowd that is not involved with the school or the player that's on the field?
So a big part of it is social media. So we run our own website, www.ofhssoccer.com. We're all over social media, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. But coming up with
Do you dance in the TikToks,
we
Mike?
Don't dance.
Do you get in there and do some dancing?
We do interviews. We try to make it fun and,
Okay.
and do things, clips of the players, but also interviews with the players and some other things. But social media is one, but also involvement in the community, and it works back and forth. Our team, we adopted a stretch of Cicero Avenue from 159th to 147th, 159th from Oak Park Avenue to Cicero. And, as part of the Illinois Highway Adoption program, where we're responsible for cleaning that up. But one way to give back to the community, they see us, we're in the community, and we're actually doing things and giving back,
Is there stuff that happens at the games that separates it from a normal high school soccer game? Is there something for the fans experience-wise that would draw them out?
So if you ever go to a soccer game, you'll see that part of going to the soccer game, it's the crowd experience, right?
Right.
The crowd's crazy. You go to a Chicago Fire game, and they're beating the drums, and they're singing throughout the whole game. There's a trumpet player playing. We try to simulate the same thing. I mean, we have mascot races, at halftime. We've got the local, the high school mascot, the junior high mascot's usually there. Thunderbolt mascot on occasion is
So the
is there.
Thunderbolts will show up and help you out. I find this interesting because what you're doing is you have a sport that's not, in a lot of people's minds, a mainstream sport, although some people love it, right? It's an up-and-coming sport. You have it at a high school level instead of at a pro level, and you're running it almost like a minor league baseball team, and you're getting involvement from other people's mascots so you can do things during the game. You're creating an experience that is not the typical go out and stand in the middle of a field and watch two high school teams play.
No, and helping out our local, local businesses. We just did on Saturday, we did a cleaning day of 159th and Cicero Avenues, and stopped at some of the local businesses, right?
Right.
And stopped in and purchased things. We don't ask for anything. We go in and purchase, take a picture there, promote it, right? And help them out. It's part of our community, and we want to be part of our community and our community to come watch us.
What is the response you're getting so far? Are you seeing an increase in people that come to games?
Oh, absolutely. And
So you've got people that are showing up to watch a soccer game, not even affiliated with school, kid on the field, because of what you're doing in Oak Forest and the surrounding area. That's amazing to me that you're able to make that kind of a draw.
And we want, we assume the parents are going to come, right? But we want the kids in the community. If you think about, I remember growing up when in 1985, Oak Forest, the baseball team was national champs. And I remember walking up, and we'd walk up with my mom and my family. We had swim lessons at the school. And I remember stopping and watching the baseball. Back then, I remember a guy, Scott Pickens. I remember the name. He was humongous, right? To me, when I was only, 4 feet tall and he's about 6 feet, he's humongous. I couldn't tell. You couldn't tell at that age whether or not they were pros or high school. But it was free. You know what I mean? We could walk up to it. It was free. We were right on. You can literally stand right next to, you're almost on top of home plate. And the players, interact. They're talking to you. It was just a great experience, and it doesn't cost anything.
What do you think you're getting crowd-wise?
We probably get at our games now probably 250 to 300.
That's a good-sized crowd when you're thinking about the fact that most of those people don't have any reason to be there except for the fact that you're pushing them to come and check out a soccer game at a high school.
Oh, absolutely. And the kids are coming. We've got, we give away T-shirts. We give away, we've got some sponsors, right? Some local business sponsor. We do some fundraising, and, we use that. We give back to everything goes back to the program and the players, but we get, you can find cheap bracelets, right? That you hand out to kids, right? I've created, you go and you can create stickers, right? Easy stuff, but giveaways to the fans. But yeah, do the players notice? They notice on social media because they see themselves, they see people responding, they see the number of likes and people following us, right? And they compare. They know what the other organizations and clubs are too, right?
Right. Do the visitors, are they surprised when they come and they see one of these games? You got another high school team that comes walking in and they're like, wow, this is like a soccer school?
Yeah.
I would imagine it helps your program.
And that's the idea.
Yeah.
When you come in, we've got, I don't know, we've probably got almost 9 or 10 banners and flags going on, branded with Oak Forest Soccer. As you walk in that you don't see anywhere else. We've got, what we call, signage and banners in there when you walk in. So yeah, it's kind of like an experience that you're walking into. There's something different going on here.
So many different sports that are not the mainstream, the basketball, the football on the South Side, probably want to find a way to do that. Perfect example. My kid is playing hockey at Brother Rice. Basically, hockey, especially in Catholic League schools, is like a club. They're not even really as involved with the school as the football or the basketball, although this year Brother Rice is starting to pull them more in with the normal athletics. But I know, speaking to parents, as I'm an incoming freshman parent walking into this for the next 4 years, that one of the things they're trying to do is figure out how do we increase our footprint so these kids are playing in front of a bunch of fans. And what you've done is you've come up with a blueprint to actually attract people into your games that don't have that tangible, this is my kid, this is my nephew, this is my school, that are actually coming for the sport, which is amazing to me, because I would think that every athletic director and everybody that's running a sport on the South Side would be like, wow, how do I do this?
But it's funny, you know everybody there, right? If you went to your local high school, you're going to run into your neighbor, right? You know all those people, you know the family. So it's one thing that people don't realize is you go to those games, you come to these games. Number one, it's free. Number two, they're good athletes. It's good sport, no matter what sport you're watching, but it's good soccer that you're going to be watching. You're going to watch kids who care. And so when we work together with the city really supports us. If you go on to Twitter, you'll see us interacting a lot with the city. We're running, our first home game is on the 24th. We're doing a Heroes Night, right? Where we're honoring the police, fire, EMS, nurses, doctors, city of Oak Forest Police, fire are coming. We even have the Chicago Police have a soccer club that are going to be coming. We've invited them, right? So we're reaching out, and that's part of giving back. I think it's a good thing for the community. And our second game we're having, it's the back to school game. So we started last year that we reach out to all the local elementary and junior highs. Come on out to the game, right? And wear your school colors. We'll have we'll have at least one mascot, but hopefully we can get a couple of your mascots there.
You're running a high school sports program that's not the exact mainstream like a minor league baseball team, and you're getting results. And I think it's really cool. If you want to check out when the games are and go see an exciting soccer game, head over to ofhssoccer.com. Mike Stacy, nice enough to join us down here, and I'm going to have to get out to a game, man. Thank you so much.
Oh, we'd love to have you.
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
It's the Southside Pod!
It's the Southside Pod!
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
It's the Southside Pod!
It's the Southside Pod!
OMG!
OMG!
It's the SSP!
It's the SSP!
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
It's the Southside Pod!
It's the Southside Pod! Southsiders, if you're looking for medical equipment, you got to check out Hyatt Home Medical Equipment and that big, beautiful showroom. It's on the South Side. They've been around for years. They've expanded what they have, and they pretty much take care of everything now. Let's say you have an elderly parent, they need oxygen. get an extra tank. It's a lot to lug those back and forth, get them up and down the stairs, go out and refill them. They work with your insurance. If you use a sleep apnea machine, a lot of people need that. Not only do they have the latest and greatest, but they're going to find the equipment that works best for you, and they have testing rooms on site so you can try it out. Anything from diabetes control to chairlifts that bring you from the first to second floor and ramps outside of your home, something to grab onto in the bathroom, and retrofitting the bathtub. They do it all at Hyatt Home Medical Equipment, and they give you extra money off if you mention Southside Pod. So they're going to help you out with the insurance, and then they're going to give you a discount. And they're right here on the South Side. If you have any questions, you can walk in and see them. See all they have to offer at hhme.com or stop in today at 3518 West 95th Street. All right, so I had a extremely nervous teenage boy stand in my living room this week.
In your living room?
And introduce himself
That's
to me.
a weird sentence.
Oh, boy.
Because I think, well, I know he is. He's smitten with my daughter because he asked her out.
This is your long-lost son you're talking about.
No.
Is this your son?
No, this is some dude. I ain't met this dude before.
Dude?
Some dude, man. Some
What?
dude, some high school junior asked out my high school junior daughter
Like asked out to a dance or like asked
on
out
a date.
And he asked you?
No, he came over to meet me because they've been talking a lot on like FaceTime. I guess that's what these kids do now.
Yeah.
Okay, they get up the nerve through a camera instead of just walking up.
I guess
and
it's better than
taking
text.
Better than
your-
texting.
Yeah, it's better than texting. I still
It's
prefer
still face to face at some point.
Well, this is what I told
So
her.
old.
I told her I was like, until this guy can shoot his shot enough that he shows up in person, you're not
say that
dating him.
again twice.
Right? Like,
Shoot, I have a lisp, so I can't say that sentence at all.
I was like, he's got to show up in person. Like you have
Shoot
to
his shot,
actually
just show up.
You did it. Whoa. That
Wow,
was,
I'm progressing.
dude,
Thanks.
you're
Hey,
going to
Bear.
get it.
Thanks.
You're going to
Hey,
get
Bear.
it.
Hey, Bear.
Hey, Bear.
All right, sorry.
But I was like, you're not actually. She told me, she was like, we're dating. I'm like, no, you're not. You haven't been on a date. You haven't even.
Yeah, you can't
everything
date
you
without
do
having
is
a date.
Right, everything you do is over a screen. That's not a date. Like that's no. I'm like, when
What did you have, a little dinner in Minecraft or whatever?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Like,
we watched
nothing.
We watched a TV show together with us in the little corner of the screen. I'm like, that's not
that's not a
a date. So I was like, when he gets up the nerve to actually be here in person,
Right.
and he goes to the school right next to her school, so he goes to Rice, she goes to Macaulay. Like, I mean, like they're going to come in contact with each other. I'm
Sure.
like, then that counts.
Come
She goes,
in
well,
contact. That's code.
What does this kid look like?
huh?
What's
Yeah,
his
normal
what,
size
what,
kid.
what does he dress?
I can
though?
take him. That's all I care
No,
about.
like
can
was
take
he
him.
like? You know, like what is
This
his?
is
You know,
first
when
thought
the
with
kids
any-
in our school, like you got your jocks, you got your skaters, you got your dorks.
Does he
you got
wear a
your
hat backwards?
Your
I don't want to
your-
pick on the kid. What if the kid's researching me by listening to the show?
I hope he is.
Okay.
let's assert some dominance
He's
here.
he's kind of a dorky
He's a
band
dork.
kid. He's a dorky band kid.
That's fine.
He's a nice kid.
Your daughter's a dorky.
He's a
band kid,
nice,
right?
respectful,
That's
responsible.
okay. I'm not saying
like,
that negative.
Right.
I was a dorky band kid.
They're both
you
dorky.
were a dorky.
I was a
band
dorky
kid.
band
So
kid.
was I.
They're two
We're
dorks.
all
I was a
dorky
dorky
band
band
kid.
kid. Now look at us, hosts of a moderately successful
Local
in our
Southside
parents'
podcast.
eyes podcast with numerous sponsors that sell home medical equipment and shoes.
Without gremlins.
The shoe place is not on this podcast. It's on
All right.
Stocks in the
We'll
Basement.
work up to that one day. Anyway,
Someday, Bill, if we're lucky.
this
He's a dorky kid,
band
but
kid.
he's very
What
nice.
does he play in the band?
The drums. He
Nice.
plays, but in
Watch
the
out.
marching
Hey,
band.
I played drums in band, and I know what I did.
Okay, I don't want to hear about it.
Listen, marching band guys, they play
Shut it
drums.
down.
He
They
plays
only
the
play one
quads.
drum.
He plays like all four of
Well,
the
I'm
marching
sure he's
band.
not just in marching; he's in concert too.
Right. But in the marching band, he's playing the quads, like the four bump, bump, bump.
That's
like
what I
that.
played.
Did you?
I played the quad.
This is your guy. Okay? This is your guy. Okay? So he's you in high school.
You should say
asking
no
my
then,
daughter
Chris.
out. So
You
I'm going to go
should say
punch him in
no.
the face the
Yes.
next time I
Yeah,
see him.
yeah.
Right. That's exactly what I'm going to go do.
Just
But
tell him, hey, one day you're going to turn into a pretty cool dude.
Listen, the best part was though, it was like he made a point. I thought this was nice of him. He made a point to stop by the house. He walked her home, and then he came in the house and he wanted to introduce himself to me. And I was like, that's
Did he
very
shake
nice of
your
him.
hand?
Yeah, he
How
shook
was
my
his
hand.
handshake?
Good handshake.
Firm?
Good. Yeah, firm handshake.
Who let go first?
I think it was a mutual let go.
Did you like trump him and bring him in? Like the handshake where
squeeze
you
his hand until he
Bring him
started
in real
crying.
close, right,
No,
yeah.
I didn't do that. I just
Okay.
gave him a nice normal handshake.
Did he call you Mr. Lanuti?
He did.
Okay.
And he called me sir every time that he.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Did you tell him you don't have to call me sir? or
Like
you
you're
No,
making
I
a
let him
scene,
keep saying it.
sir.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no,
you say
you
it again.
You don't give in. You don't give in at that point. That guy,
Say it again.
that guy's taking my. This kid wants to take my daughter out. Like
Yeah,
he's
right.
gonna call me
Yeah.
sir
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah, call me doctor. Like I don't know your dad was. He's not. But you're gonna call him that because he asked you to.
Call me your highness and get on your
Yeah,
knee.
right. It's the Southside. It's the Southside. It's Southside Pod. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in to the Southside Pod. Y'all come back now, you hear?